शुभं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
थैंक यू सो मच एवरीबडी। एक बार ज़ोरदार तालियां हो जाएं। एंड मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगी हमारे कुछ डेलीगेट से कि वो स्टेज पर इस डाइस पर हमारे साथ बने रहें। सो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी डॉक्टर सुरेश मोटवानी सर जी से, द मॉडरेटर ऑफ दिस सेशन, डॉक्टर सुरेश आइटप्पू, मिस्टर रैंडी डकवर्थ एंड मिस दीबा। प्लीज़ आप स्टेज पर बने रहें। एंड हमारे अदर डेलीगेट्स सामने की ओर हमारा साथ देंगे। एंड इसी के साथ मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगी डॉक्टर सुरेश मोटवानी सर से, प्लीज़ टेक ओवर। So everybody, Dr. Suresh Motwani sir take over करने जा रहे हैं for sustainability and food session. This is one of the biggest conclave of the year, everybody. Biggest soybean event in the soybean industry. So once again, a very warm welcome to each one of you present here. Right now, मैं request करना चाहूँगी Dr. Suresh Motwani, our moderator. Please join us here and take this event forward. मतलब ऑन है, अब बंद हो गया। आपको गाइड कर देंगे जब आप बोलेंगे, तो जैसा आप बोलेंगे। All right, everybody, a huge round of applause for our moderator of this event, Dr. Suresh Motwani, sir.
Good morning. So, Prabhat, as we already initiate the event, first of all, congratulations to all the organizer, SOPA team, especially Dr. Patak Saab and Jain Saab, for this great event we are going to be experienced today and tomorrow. This is the very first session of the day. In this session, we supposed to be talk about the sustainability agenda of the soybean. So, as I represent Soybean Food Forum of SOPA and also the Solidarity. Solidarity known for the overall sustainable supply chain for the different global commodities. Before I start my presentation, I just like to say, when we talk about the sustainability, usually the some group of people's thought is only about the environment, is only about the biodiversity, is only about the orang-utan. But sustainability, it has a longer, I can say, the justified approach. It is also about the sustainability of the processing units. It's also about the sustainability of the farmers' income. It's also sustainability of the long-term food requirement, nutrition requirement for particular region, country, or the zones. So when we discuss this session about the sustainability, I will try to cover these different aspects of the soybean, which is directly connected with the overall agenda of the sustainability. And this cover slide, you might be seeing this ISSS. So this is the core Indian Sustainability Soy Standards we jointly developed together with the SOPA and Indian Institute of Soybean Research. So this is a guiding document for India soybean sector, where all the criteria, principles, indicators we supposed to be implemented during the farming of the soybean, processing of the soybean, and also the marketing and the branding of the soybean. These three pillars, what I talking about on the sustainability, when we say is about the Indian soybean, I must say when we talk about the Indian soybean, it is not different from the global soybean. Some of the characteristics may be different. When you talk about the Indian smallholder farmers, the farmers' average land side may be the less than 2 hectares. But when you talk about the smallholders, soya farmers from Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, or Uruguay, or the US, it might be under the 50 hectare or the 100 hectare of the land. So this is the only definitions and the size of the land. Moreover, the three fundamental principles, the economic importance, the nutrition importance, and agriculture importance. These three pillars justified the approaches what we are discussing here for soybean. आप में से जो सोयाबीन का दिन और दिन काम करते हैं, मेरे ख्याल से इतना आसान नहीं है भारत में भी सोयाबीन की बात करना. सोयाबीन का सीजन चल रहा है, जिस तरह से इरेगुलर मौसम हुआ है, जिस तरह से मार्केट के प्राइस चल रहे हैं, the minimum support price for the soybean is around 5,300 or 5,600. Now the market is running around 3,000, 3,500 only. तो उसमें ये कह सकते हैं कि जब हम सोयाबीन का बात करते हैं वो इतना इजी नहीं है. जब सोया सस्टेनेबिलिटी का बात करते हैं कि सोयाबीन का अच्छा ये है, इतना जस्टिफाइड करना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा. That's why we need to be discuss the sustainability of the soybean, and this is presentation is all about this. When we talk about the Indian soya landscape, you can say that this productivity is one of the element, but this is not the only element. We also need to see the demand-supply imbalance, what is going on the international levels, what is going on the produce from the different countries, and what is going on the different policy agenda. Not only linked with the soybean, but the other competitive crops also. So this is the, I think the approach we need to be discussed further during this important forum. Okay, when we discuss the sustainability, it is not only focus on the productivity of the soybean or the good quality seed of the soybean, it's also need to be linked with the overall beneficial financial sustainability of the Indian farmers. And these are the challenges basically what we face since many years now. We have the good agriculture practices in place. We have the good varieties are in the place. But after hard work on the soya farmer field, farmers are not getting their price. So this is the connectivity, the sustainability, I must say. Through this forum, we have to be discussed further. This national standards, why we need this national standards? There's a plenty of other standards available globally to justify the sustainability within the soybean sector. But when we discuss the local realities, the regional requirement, the country priorities, we should have our priorities on the national sustainability standards, which can be defined from the national law and regulations, the requirement for the long-term sustainability for the country, not as a only crop, but the overall requirement of the elements of the crop. When you talk about the soybean, it is not only the soybean is running around in the requirement of the oil, edible oil. There are the plenty of other crops which need to be compete with the soybean. But you can narrate the different elements of the sustainability within this framework. We have the standards ready. We can discuss in detail. I think many of the people are already aware about the Solar Radar. Solar Radar, we as an organization work globally. Our primary concern is to be sustain the smallholder farmers. I repeat, our primary concern is to sustain the smallholder farmers. whichever connected with the market, whichever connected to the government policies, whichever connected with the overall well-being. Ultimately, we have to be serve the farmers. This is the core as an organization we are working. We were the co-founder of the Fair Trade Sustainability Standards, and this is our identity. We develop the sustainability standards which can sustain the smallholder farmers and grow the market in the sustainable way. These are some of the examples. We develop different type of sustainability standards. The core, what I need to be defined basically in the coming slides, is about the overall sustainability of the soybean, what we need to be do. Presently, we are working with more than 3 lakhs farmers in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan for the soybean, and we know many of the stakeholders available here. Our partners can comment. This is not the each part basically. We are talking the sustainability of the soya farmers is long now. But the different factorial analysis is not in the favor of the soybean farming. So we really need to be discussed during these all sessions. Okay, whatever we are doing the good agriculture practices or the coordination with the government agencies, whatever the technical institutions like Soybean Research Center, whatever the extension institution like KVK, Krishi Vigyan Kendras, or the state agriculture departments, this is the one path where the farmers supposed to be supported by the knowledge and awareness of the good agriculture practices. But the another umbrella of the sustainability to be create the appropriate revenue for the soybean farmers is a missing link where we need to be discussed further. And in this context, we supposed to be develop these sustainability standards, which have the multi-stakeholders forums. And actually, this forum, like SOPA, is a real forum where all the stakeholders, partners, people from the businesses, from the processors, from the farmer producer organizations, or the research institutions are available there. So this is a good avenue. As an organization, we are integrated this soybean on the other edible oil crops also. We also do work for the mustard, groundnut, sunflower, for the palm oil. Our idea is to be support the soybean farmers in a way which can be contribute for the overall requirement of the self-sufficiency of the India, but also to connect with the nutrition agenda of the Indian segment. So these are the coming slides I will discuss. And the Indian, this standards already discussed very well. Last time also we released during the SOPA conference only. So why we promote the soy food in India? This is a core topic basically. When we want to do the sustainability of the soybean sector, it is not going to be coming only from the requirement of the oil or the requirement of the feed. It is coming through the well-being of the smallholder farmers. And soybean is one of the appropriate justified crop in the cropping patterns where we grow the soybean in the central or western part of India. Due to the short duration crop, and also it's address the climate agenda also. And different elements, the research, the findings say soybean can be the only crop which can sustain the long-term requirement of the protein requirement for the vegetarian community in the rural segments. So this is the core. Here I want to share some experiences. We are running one umbrella program, Good Farming, Good Food here. In MP, we work very well with the associate partners. Some of the business partners like VP is also part of this program. We have the close tie-up with the government agencies. They promote the soya food-based recipes in their system. So this program is one of the example. This is one of the successful example where a lot of the stakeholders when come forward to be joined to promote the soya-based nutrition in the rural communities. It can enabling the sustainability requirement for the overall sector. It's not only about the soybean farming, it's about the soybean nutrition, the food security, the well-being of the farmers. So these are some of the examples you can see in the slides. We have the many of the impact studies available. Maybe some of the people available here can be interested to know more about the program. There is the website also, goodfarminggoodfood.org. You can go through the website. We have the successful examples. Maybe the many of the stakeholders available here can take some of the learnings from this program to replicate in their own area. I must say a lot of the crushers, processors are available here. It is not only about the supply of the soybean, it is the sustainability of the soybean systems. I agree, it is also the sustainability of the processing units, refineries also, but core is the sustainability of the soya farming community. core is the soya farming ecosystem. So we really need to work jointly to promote the all sustainability pillars of the soybean. Cultivation side, research institutions are there. They are doing a great job. Market side, brands are there, requirements are there. Policy level discussions are going on. We really need to find out some way forward where the government or the other relative agencies can be come out with some sort of the appropriate principles or the regulations which can promote the soy-based vegetarian food system in the diet system. So this is the general, I can say, the awareness program we already held. This is already going on. Our aim as an organization or our aim as a SOPA Soya Food Forum, we want to be the reality, the goodness of the soybean should be acceptable by all stakeholders. It's not only about the soya processors. It's also need to be addressed, accepted by the food community, the nutrition community, which need to be further promote the all ingredients available in the sustainable soybean. So these are the examples we are trying to be set here. We already developed one of the farmer producer company umbrella. More than 100 farmer producer companies who deal in the soya food is running this forum. Some stalls is already there. You can find out some of the soya-based products. More than 85 different type of the soybean products we are promoting through these farmer producer organizations. And I'm sure based on these successful examples, learnings through these type of programs, many stakeholders will be came forward, join hands to be do good for the soybean sector. And this is one of the announcement basically with the umbrella of the SOPA. We are quietly eager to be develop this concept where we would like to be develop the soya tea cafe nutri stores. Our idea is to be in the umbrella of the SOPA, if the many stakeholders, the members of the SOPA come forward to be support through their own activities, CSR funds. We as an organization, Solidar, are happy to be support this concept. Our programs, our approaches say we can invest a lot for these type of structures where you can find every corner, any airport, the stations, the city should have these soya tea cafe and nutri stores where all type of the soya-based products can be available to be further enrich the nutrition scoping of our community and our population. Join hand research, so change that matters. Thank you very much. I think we will be continue with another speakers.
Yes, everybody, huge round of applause for Dr. Suresh Motwani, sir, Soy Food Council, SOPA. Now, everybody, it's time to take this event forward, and now I would like to request Dr. Suresh Aitappu, sir. Huge round of applause for him, everybody. Food scientist and technologist. Welcome, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. We have soybean processors here, mostly. What I'm trying to do is I will discuss how we can upgrade existing solvent extraction facilities to produce high value added products which the industry, food industry is looking for. In my opinion, soy is very, very versatile, and unfortunately we are not using its fullest potential. So if you actually upgrade our existing facility and make a better quality product where you preserve the native protein structure, so that can do wonders in the food industry. So with that aim, I just would like to discuss briefly on the soybean processing for food applications, benefits of soy derivatives in the food industry, and upgradation of the existing facility to produce high PDI soy flour or soy products so that we can meet the demand of the food industry. And I'll briefly touch upon the functional properties of soy protein, which can actually help the food industry, whether it is an economic benefit or a nutritional benefit or a functional benefit. And then just would like to compare the soy protein in general, a brief on lecithin and fiber. So this is a very busy schedule. I don't want to discuss all the things. Only what I'd like to mention is we all are doing this soybean. We are all doing the cleaning, dehulling, and solvent extraction, producing defatted soy flour. Here, if you actually process the defatted soy flour very well, where we preserve the structure of the protein, the native structure of the protein, we can do very highly functional ingredients like high PDA soy flour, which can be further processed into soy protein concentrates, isolates, which can be used into various functional food products, whether you look at meat analogs, whether you look at protein hydrolysates, or nutritional supplements, or functional supplements, or different other value-added products. So the soybean derivatives, especially whether you are looking at a high PDA soy flour or a soy protein concentrate or isolates, they have enormous applications in the food industry. For example, in the bakery industry, the same soy flour, if you process very well, actually it can give a lot of benefits to the baker, the bread manufacturers, the cookie manufacturers, or the cake manufacturers, where they can reduce some of the expensive ingredients and actually make some economic benefits to the baker, as well as increasing the yield and other things. Similarly, in beverages, it has a lot of applications. In the processed meat, simple addition of small percentage of soy protein can actually give meat extension to the meat processors especially, and also gives economic benefits. And we have dairy analogs. There is a lot of interest in the dairy alternatives or dairy analogs. A lot of people are looking at vegan options. So if you are looking for a vegan product and still want to have the taste and the eating characteristics or sensorial characteristics of dairy products, with soy protein, preserved structure of soy protein can help us in making soy yogurt, cheese, ice cream. All these things can be made, which are vegan and also economical. Similarly, in frozen desserts, we can do ice cream. And these are all different products where a native structure of the protein can help us in making these processes. And now, the reason why I'm bringing up this particular topic is I want the industry to adopt producing the white flakes, which has a lot of applications, because growing demand for soy protein as a food ingredient is increasing as the processed food industry is growing. So they need a lot of ingredients. Fortunately, we have technologies which can help us in giving the ingredients to the food industry. So that is where there is importance for the white flakes or the high PDA, high protein dispersibility index flakes comes into picture. So for this, what the industry needs to do is they have to adopt some of the technologies where they can produce that, whether it is in the soybean preparation or desolventization technology, so that we can produce these white flakes. And what the industry should do to do this is to upgrade the process. You have to do the cleaning and grading, thorough cleaning and grading, and also you need to actually maintain the moisture content of the beans in such a way when you are flaking, you don't actually produce a lot of fines. And that will also help in achieving the higher PDI in the process, especially tampering the beans to 10 to 11% moisture, proper dehulling, cracking them to 1/6 to 1/8 chips, and conditioning at 70 to 75 degrees centigrade to increase the elasticity and reduce the breakage, which will help in better extraction of oil, and it provides the integrity of the flakes. And proper desolventization, whether it is a flash desolventization or a downdraft desolventization, can actually preserve, because in this process you are not exposing the flakes to higher temperature. Even though you are exposing to higher temperature, but it is only for few seconds. So you can desolventize it. At the same time, you can preserve the protein structure so that you can get all the benefits about the soy protein. And proper storage is also very, very important if you are upgrading it to a edible grade or white flakes in your processing. So desolventization, our main aim is to preserve the enzymes, especially if you are doing like full fat soy flour, enzyme active soy flour, you want to preserve the lipoxygenase. So you have to be very careful in that, and then you can achieve this by low temperature and low moisture exposure. That will help you in that. And processing schemes you need to adopt is the flash desolventization system or a downdraft desolventization system, so that you can preserve the protein structure. So this is typical flash desolventization system. where the wet flakes which starts with 90 PDI, 90% of the protein will be dispersed in water, that is the 90 PDI. If you carefully process that, you can achieve as much as 85. So if you are doing 85 PDI flour, that has a lot of benefits, especially if you are making soy protein isolates, concentrates, or making value added ingredients for the food industry. Application of white flakes is increasing. Before the revelation of the health benefits of soy, that is what the soy functional properties are being main focus for the food industry to use soy. So this is all based on the functional integrity of the soy protein. So now we again see a lot of opportunities for that, the way food industry is growing and the raw material cost is going. So if you carefully process the soybean and maintain the protein dispersibility index, you can actually give a lot of benefit to the industry, at the same time provide the health benefits to that. So these are the functional benefits. I will not go through that because of the time constraint. But these are some of the functional attributes. A soy protein, a native soy protein with about 80-85 PDI soy protein can give is, it has a very good solubility, it has excellent water binding or water absorption capacity, it has good application, viscosity, cohesion, adhesion, emulsification, and fat absorption, foaming, color control. So all these functional properties play a very important role in beverages, meat, processed meats, gravies and soups, and whipped toppings, chiffon desserts, angel cakes and ice creams and bread. So all these food industry segments can actually use these functional benefits if you preserve the protein properly. So in the meat application, as I was mentioning earlier, so a small percentage of soy protein can actually improve reduce the shrinkage or cook shrinkage in the meat product, prevents the fat separation, and it will give excellent clean cut if you are making something like sausages. And also because soy protein has the isoflavones, they have antioxidant effects. This prevents the oxidation of the meat, or the fat in the meat, so it has another benefit and improves the nutritional value as far as meat applications are concerned. In the plant-based foods, as I was referring earlier, in the dairy alternatives or maybe in the meat alternatives or egg alternatives, the functional soy protein can actually provide all these benefits to mimic other animal-based proteins through the soy protein, high PDI soy protein or functional soy protein. So this is in beverages. Again, it has a lot of applications as far as solubility, emulsification, where fat and water can be uniformly mixed. Soy protein can provide that, which can have a better mouthfeel, which can have a better stability of the beverages, which can bind the flavors better. And also when you are heat treating, especially UHT treatment or a sterilization process, it will give stability to the product. In the beverage applications, these are some of the benefits. And in the bakery system, there are so many applications here. Today, we are in Indore, which is actually the snack food capital in the country. So we have a lot of snack food manufacturers. Small amount of this functional soy protein can actually help in reducing the oil absorption during frying, especially in the snack foods. So that will not only reduce the cost of oil for the food processor, and also it elevates the protein content and also brings down the calories in the product. So in the deep fried product, soy protein can help us very well in donuts or in breads. A small percentage of soy can actually help in more water absorption, be giving better yield and increasing shelf life of the bread. And in products like cakes, you can replace eggs 100%. You can replace, if not 100%, if somebody is looking for normal cakes with reduced egg content, will actually reduce cost to the baker. So these are some of the beneficial role of soy in the bakery products, where increases the productivity, improvement in the dough handling properties, reduction in the baking time, temperature, and improvement in crumb softness, prolonging shelf life. So these are some of the benefits which can actually give nutritional benefits, health benefits, and also economic benefits to the baker. So when the food industry wants to meet reducing cost, so they can actually look at soy protein, this functional soy protein, so that they can replace some of the expensive ingredients, reduce expensive ingredients like eggs or oil or skim milk powder. One simple example is I was talking to some of my friends in the industry, like if you take this functional soy protein added with some amount of sweet dry whey, can completely replace skim milk powder, which comes to half the cost of skim milk powder. So like that, if you understand soy protein, you can really do a lot of things in the food industry. And if you compare the quality of protein with other sources of protein like milk, egg, meat, and pea protein, out of the 10 quality parameters which I have chosen, soy can meet 9 compared to 6 for milk. Egg can only meet 5 of the properties, and meat can only meet 4. And because based on this, soy protein density, quality supported by health claim, bioactive components, and proven health benefits, safety, functional properties, and economics, soy is one of the ideal protein for the food industry. So if we upgrade our facilities, so we can actually meet a very good opportunity, where we can explore a very good opportunity as a functional ingredient in the food industry. And I encourage, before I just would like to mention another value-added product, lecithin. A lot of people are not focusing, but lecithin is a very, very good food ingredient which has a lot of health benefits and also a lot of functional benefits, whether emulsification, wetting, instantization. So many functional benefits are there which can be used in various processed foods. And similarly, soy fiber, whether it is coming from okara after soy milk, or whether it is coming from fiber in the isolate process, can have a very good source of both soluble and insoluble fiber, which can be a very good ingredient for the food industry, and also nutritional ingredient which has a lot of benefits, especially in managing diabetes and cholesterol levels. So these are some of the ingredients, value-added ingredients. If we adopt existing solvent extraction industry to make a high-value product, so that will help in these versatile derivatives can be produced. And this white flakes has a lot of benefits, and it's not only the Indian market we are looking at. I was talking to somebody, we see opportunities in the neighboring countries also, because the availability of these flakes are not there, so we can look at that. And the soy derivatives, all these functional derivatives can provide various functions in the food system, and thus a valuable ingredient. And wide range of soy derivatives are available for different applications. And soy protein is the most ideal protein for the food processing industry, which can provide health and economic benefits, health and nutritional benefit to the consumers, and economic benefits to the food industry. So maybe soy industry can look at it and then maybe upgrade their facility to meet the industry demand in India and outside India. This is in brief about upgrading the technology so that we can meet the consumers' demand. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for showing us the more opportunities and how we can take advantages in this industry and upgrade the process. Thank you so much, Aitappu sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move forward. And now we are going to have our first international expert over here. Ladies and gentlemen, एक बार जोरदार तालियों के साथ हम यहाँ पर स्वागत करेंगे, welcome करेंगे Mr. Randy Duckworth sir का. Please welcome sir. He's specialist, he's expert, Specialty Soy and Grains Alliance. He's from USA, everybody, and welcome sir, welcome.
Namaste. It's so great to be back here in Indore. I haven't been back in about a year and a half, and I've missed it. Beautiful green city. My name is Randy Duckworth. I'm Executive Director of the Specialty Soya and Grains Alliance. And the Specialty Soya and Grains Alliance is focused on the non-GMO soy sector in India, mostly food-grade soy. I wanted to quickly mention that the presentation I'm giving today is based upon 2 case studies and data that's been provided by Japneet Singh of the consulting firm Yamada Spire. Yamada Spire was hired by my organization to do this. And let's see here. There we go. Before I get onto my presentation, I wonder, do we have any foodies here? Anybody? You, sir, in the Modi vest. I've got a question for you, and if you can answer it correctly, I'll give you this nice box of Lindt chocolate. All right? My question for you, it's a two-part question, actually. What type of pulse do you use for this dish? Do you recognize this dish, sir? Yes, sir. Dal makhani, it's right, exactly right. It's one of my favorite dishes in India. And what pulse do you use for dal makhani, sir? Urid dal, black mappe. You are correct, sir. Some people might argue that for putting rajma in there as well, but I'll give you full credit for black mappe because that is correct. I'll give this to you when I'm finished, sir. The reason I ask you why about black mappe, would you use any other pulse in dal makhani besides black mappe? If you used mung dal, for example, would that be correct, sir? No. Urad dal, yes, sir. So my point is you have to use the correct type of ingredient to have a proper Indian recipe, right? The same is true in soy. You have to use the proper type of soy for the proper type of end product that you're using. And that's what my presentation is here today. That's why I'm here today. But I wanted to first say I'm not here to promote any foreign origin soy or U.S. soy, even though I'm from the U.S. I'm here just to show you a couple cases of the economic advantages of using identity-preserved soy. In fact, I would argue that the cases I'm presenting today support the notion that the government of India and private seed companies, they support increased research from the government of India and private seed companies on developing new varieties of soybeans to meet the needs of the India food processing sector. With that said, let me jump right in. We did two case studies. One of the case studies was in Malaysia on soy milk production, and the other case study was on tofu production in Vietnam. The first step in this process, the methodology, was basically analyzing the manufacturing process, assessing the qualitative benefits of using identity-preserved soybeans, mapping that process impact, quantifying the financial impact, and then modeling financial scenarios. So in other words, using just generic soybeans versus using specific identity-preserved soybeans, specific types. The first case study that we did was in Vietnam. This is just a background on Vietnam. I won't get into the details, but it's the 13th biggest market in the world in terms of soy. This is the process of a large-size tofu manufacturer in Vietnam, and we mapped that out. As you can see, the first stage is basically procuring, cleaning, storing soybeans. The second step in this process is processing those, soaking, grinding, cooking, and then finally the last step in the process, stage 3, coagulation, pressing, molding, cooling, and packaging, and sales. And if anybody here is involved in tofu or soy milk, you'll recognize these steps, right? As we mapped out, as we worked with this large tofu processor to identify what the difference between generic soybeans and specific identity-preserved soybeans, soybeans that were best suited for manufacturing tofu, one of the things that is very obvious is specific identity-preserved or specific varieties of soy they have a higher cost than just generic soybeans, right? And so we looked at the cost or cost savings for each step in this process of using identity preserved soybeans versus generic soybeans. The red color or rose color at the top under purchase, that represents an increased cost, and then the items that are highlighted in green represent cost savings or increased production or productivity, and then increases in revenue or gross profit. Now you can't possibly see all of the details in this, but I just would highlight a couple items in here that I thought were particularly interesting. Down here towards the bottom, it talks about grinding stone replacements. It's a minor cost, actually, but that was one of the things that surprised me about this study. When they moved to using specific varieties of soybeans that had been cleaned and sorted and everything already, the amount of grinding stones that they had to use dropped dramatically, right? So instead of 180 replacements of grinding stones, that was reduced to 60 replacements. It's a small cost, but it's representative of what has happened in this process. And then here we see exactly how much it increases or decreases in this scenario with IP soybeans. So an increase of 34% for purchasing, decrease in storage cost of 34%, decrease in sorting and cleaning cost of 52%, grinding cost decreased by 20%, an increase in yield of 7%, and an increase in gross profits of 6%, right? So the bottom line for this particular tofu factory was they actually increased their net profit by 11% by using a specific variety of soybeans that was well suited for tofu production, right? Even though there was an increase on the raw ingredients, they increased their net profit by $948,000. So these are some of the verbatim quotes from the Vietnamese manufacturer. They, for example, noted that the man-hours that they had to spend cleaning non-IP soybeans versus IP soybeans was cut in half. I think very importantly here, the increase in production capacity, as noted by the manufacturer. This becomes very important as you look at throughput and factory overhead. So they had a time savings of 13 minutes per batch, which was 7 hours over the course of producing 5,000 kg of tofu, which led to them being able to produce 2 more batches per day. Which meant an additional 900 kg of tofu produced per day, right? At the end of the day, this was an increase in profitability, reduced by reducing their processing time, increasing their productivity. Key takeaways, for each $100 that they made in revenue, there was a $3.60 increase in cost, but $11.20 increase in profits. So the economic advantages of using IP soybeans. Next, look at Malaysia quickly. Malaysia is the 5th largest consumer of soybeans in Southeast Asia. Again, a very similar process for soybean milk. I won't go through this, but you can see, again, the process, particularly if you're familiar with soybean. Again, the rose color represents an increase in cost, and the green color represents cost savings or increased yields and increased profits. Again, one of the things you noticed here is the cleaning, the amount that, of time and money that they spend cleaning the product reduced by half, as it was the case in the previous case study. We also see that there's an increase in the base yield for soy milk base. So one of the things again, the bottom line in this particular case is increased profit of 43%. Oops. Increased profit of 43% as a result of increased cost savings and increased yields and reduced spoilage and storage cost. So that's the two case studies. Happy to talk to anybody outside of this presentation. If you want more information, I'm happy to share it. I thank you again for inviting me here today. It's a great pleasure to be here in Indore, India with all of you. I look forward to meeting you and talking with you more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. He shared amazing knowledge about the industry, ladies and gentlemen. He shared about the economic advantages of utilizing identity-preserved soybeans. Once again, a huge round of applause for Mr. Randy Duckworth, everybody. And now, everybody, it's time to welcome our another speaker with huge round of applause, Miss Diba, USSEC. जोरदार तालियों के साथ हम वेलकम करेंगे. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaste and very good morning to you all. I hope you're enjoying your morning so far. It's my first time here in Indore, and it's, I must admit, it's a very beautiful, clean city, so I'm very excited to be interacting with some of those here in Indore. My name is Diba Yanuli. I'm the regional market lead for the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia. I'm based in Dubai. And before I begin my presentation, I would like to give a round of applause for SOPA for putting on such a beautiful, spectacular event. So if we can all just give them a round of applause for organizing a great platform for allowing for dialogue and collaboration to happen. So I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about a few things. So when I think about sustainability, I put it in the 3 Ps, just to sort of tie up and along with the themes of the panel. Sustainability, you could look at it as 3 things. So the first P would be the people. The second would be the planet. And then third, and most importantly, why everyone is interested, is the profits. And today, India mirrors China's demographic profile of a 1990s, a young, increasingly urban and aspirational population entering its peak earning and consumption years. Just like China 3 decades ago, India is experiencing a demographic dividend with a large working age population driving productivity, rising incomes, and a demand for better quality food, health, and lifestyle products. As disposable incomes rise and diets diversify, consumption is shifting from basic staples to high-value protein sources such as poultry, aquaculture, dairy, and plant-based foods, mirroring China's transformation during its rapid economic expansion. To sustain this growth, India will need to do 2 things to do 2 things. One would be to strengthen its domestic production of soy and explore avenues for strategic imports, much like China, which continues to cultivate soy domestically while importing high-quality soy to meet its expanding feed and food industry needs. A balanced approach boosting local productivity while integrating into global supply chains can ensure India meets its rising protein and feed demand efficiently and sustainably, supporting its broader food, nutritional security, and economic goals. So USEC stands for the United States Soybean Export Council. We focus on a few segments. First is the animal nutrition, aquaculture, soy oil, soy foods, Soy Excellence Center, and at the golden thread that lies underneath of everything that we do is sustainability. All soy that is grown in the United States comes with sustainability certificates, so it is a foundation and it's sort of embedded in the US soybean farmers' practices. When we're looking at an animal nutrition, the ultimate value of soybean meal is measured by more than just its crude protein. And I know in South Asia region, this idea of crude protein and measuring it as a value of measurement is still existing. We need to sort of move past beyond crude protein. So US soy consistently delivers excellent animal performance, it's high quality and premium value. Now looking at it in aquaculture, aquaculture supplied more than half of the global seafood in 2023. Aquaculture, it is the largest traded commodity worldwide. People, and globally, people have a demand for eating more fish, more shrimp, and shell-based products. So we've demonstrated the use of soybean meal from US soy of having higher value, proven technologies such as the in-pond raceway system, and better nutrient profiles and increased digestibility in aquaculture. Soy foods. The global population is projected to reach an estimated of 10 billion people by 2050. Here in India, outpaced the world in terms of population. US soy plays an important role in global food and nutritional security. US soy's protein rich is the only plant protein comparable to animal protein that has this FDA's heart claim. And then there are regular updates to the specialty US soy database, which Randy here is representing from SSGA, that ensure both new and long-term soy food producers can find soy food beans within the quality and attributes that are needed for your requirements. Soybean oil is the most widely consumed oil globally, and in the United States, India is currently purchasing #1 purchaser of soybean oil. It's got high refining weight, lowest refining costs, various use of applications, and you can sort of calculate the cost factor through the soybean oil value calculator. Now, shifting from kind of what we all do, just by a show of hands, has anybody taken a course through the Soy Excellence Center? No? Okay. So a few years ago, the Soy Excellence Center has launched a specific Soy Excellence Center just for India. And this is a program that was helped to develop emerging and expansion markets with protein challenges. And it's focused on entry to mid-level protein professionals. So what the Soy Excellence Center, the tracks are offered, these are, by the way, free. These courses that the Soy Excellence Center puts on, they are free at no cost to you. So there's focus on poultry, feed, aqua, swine course, dairy, soy food, and processing. And it's developed by international and industry experts. And it's an online digital platform that allows you to take the class as needed. There's some live check-ins as well. And also, once you complete this initial stage, there's in-person program where you're able to interact with the experts and interact with the other people who have graduated from the online, the stage 1. So basically, by design, SEC is to ensure that there's use to most sectors. In the year 2025, the feed formulation lab series comprised of members from poultry, feed, aqua, and they've all come back with positive impact of the course. The management development program, which is scheduled for November, December, and January 2026. This is going to be designed to complement technical training with a lot of the business development for the companies that they're working in to kind of shape the well-rounded professionals. So if you look at the sort of key metrics for India specific, about last 2024, 707 had enrolled compared to 1,676. So we see a growth trajectory year on year. So it would be great to see the 2026 data. We just hope that the numbers increase. Again, there's a lot of community engagement that you're maintained, allowed to network with people within the Soy Excellence Center. So this is kind of like the roadmap. There's 13 courses that are planned for year 2026 over the next 56 weeks. There's live virtual sessions, which last a total of 84 hours. So these are across all 13 courses. There's 19 virtual activities, 7 in-person activities, 240 community reading resources, recognitions, institutional collaboration. And what we do is once people graduate and that they get recognized, we bring them to our regional programs, whether that is Strike HungerCon, CrushCon in Dubai, whether that is at our sustainability conference that we have some, depending in Nepal or in Sri Lanka. And we like to recognize the top badge earners of the Soy Excellence Center, kind of an incentive to kind of recognize their hard work, their effort, and dedication. So this is the governance model. So we have this Soy Excellence Center Global Advisory Panel, which provides the financial support, advisement, the curriculum. Then we have the Regional Advisory Council. This is leadership by country specific. So India has its own, what we call RAC as an acronym. And in the middle, we have the center lead sort of leading both elements of it. So they're the ones to execute planning, admin, and operations. And we have Vijay Anand, who is our center lead for India. So there's multiple ways in which the supporters with the local regional advisory council supports, they can sort of pick up on its own. They can use it for rewards and recognitions. Again, it's an operation that's almost a daily routine. Your sort of desire to learn is maintained and you're updated to the most recent industry relevant news. There's digital platforms, which is a great asset, and we see a lot of interactions and community interactions across the Soy Excellence Center. This is our new GAP leadership from the US. So there's 17 members of the Soy Excellence Center, and Soy Excellence Center India has had the pleasure of having 13 members of the US soy leadership participate in the meetings here in India. Now with that sort of shifting away is on sustainability. So just kind of I started my discussion about the 3 Ps. And again, I want to let you know that it is a sustainable growing, harvesting, and supply chain system that causes U.S. soy to be consistently superior in nutrient composition and value. It is, again, quality and value, which link up with our sustainability. And we are sort of talking about, we have what we call the 4 Ds. And what we are talking about when it comes to sustainability, the first D you can think about is the dryness. The second D you can think about, it would be for damage. The third would be digestibility, and fourth, deforestation. So kind of working backwards, just a touch note on deforestation. And we don't have deforestation issues in the United States. We actually have afforestation. And so this is something that makes us stand out in the US, and we're very proud that we don't have these issues. Now moving on to the first D, or the second D, which was damage. Damage beans tells a story of composition, consistency, and sustainability. So by a show of hands, sorry, I'm not sure who's moving my slides. By a show of hands, the soy from other origins, how many has seen soy locally here in India looking like the high moisture and low moisture? So if you see the beans on the left, these are soy from other origins that's showing the damage, and then we're looking at US soy as well, which is more consistent. Again, in Brazil, there's double cropping. So you can see that soybeans are being harvested at the same time the cotton is being planted. We don't do this practice, and our U.S. soybean farmers don't engage in this type of practice. In the middle, I'm sorry, I can move my slides. Someone's moving my slides for me. So soybeans in the middle, these are harvested wet. And then on the far, you can see that the damage is highly visible in the soy. So again, they're harvested wet, and they're typically dried in dryers that burn eucalyptus trees, unlike in the United States, where they're sort of dried naturally. And moving on to measuring what matters. So I mentioned to you that we need to move away from measuring on a crude protein. This is not the best measure for either soybean or soybean meal. Traditional grading systems don't correlate well with the actual value. Nitrogen is an indirect measure of quality, and some of the methods to measure crude protein combustion, DUMAS. And so what the industry is measuring is currently nitrogen, what you see in green. Now, what would be great for you to start looking at is what is mattering, which is the amino acid, essential digestibility, the energy content of what the animal is actually needing when it's coming to animal feed. Again, unshackle from the past and to measure beyond crude protein is a message I'd like for you all to sort of, take with you. And continuing on with the damage, looking at from the U.S. So U.S. soy has 5 times lower total damage and heat damage when compared to soybeans from other origins. And heat damage decreases digestibility and calories, which, lowers the consistency and nutrient composition. From the aquaculture elements, we have seen that there have been higher profits in aquaculture systems. So this is research done by Wataya Aqua, which showed greater profitability and lower carbon footprint, who chose soybean meal made from the United States over soybean meal made from soy from other origins as well. So this is just sort of looking at, for example, tilapia feed and then finisher diets formulated with the margin of safety of soybean meal as well. So value is unlocked of U.S. soy when considering this nutrient value. So if you look at the premium value, you may say, soy from the U.S. is costing me a lot. Say, for example, you can see it's unlocking the true economic value, so just don't look at it from an initial onset of the price. Just calculate everything in terms of your calculation for your feed formulation or your recipe that you're using it for. And the ultimate value of soybean meal is measured by more than just crude protein. Again, I'm just reiterating this. And, U.S. soy delivers superior animal performance at the lowest total cost with optimal nutritional bundle, low damage, and consistency. So it's a value generating. And one last topic I'd like to discuss, just the next few slides, is the right to protein. I'd like for you all to take your phone out, scan this QR code. There's 2 buttons, one that says Proteinometer, and the second is the Right to Protein website. I would like for you all to calculate how much protein you require. And the calculation of protein is different for everybody. It's basis your age, height, your weight, how active you are, and the type of cuisine that you consume, whether it's veg, non-veg, being flexitarian. This Right to Protein campaign started 5 years ago. It is a protein agnostic campaign to raise public awareness on the benefits of protein in the human, regardless as a pregnant woman all the way up to the elderly as well. So it's a great, it's a neutral platform to discuss and have these discussions with your industry as well, or even at home. And I'm looking forward to for partnerships and collaborations with the Right to Protein as well. So some of the highlights, what we have done for India specifically this year is the Protein Day. It's celebrated every February 27. And so these are some of the engagements that we have done and impressions, just some metrics just so that you're aware of what has happened in India so far this year. We have done these hamper baskets, which industry has given as gifts to Right to Protein, and we sent these all to journalists and very influencers to kind of open the hampers and talk about their products specifically as well. So if you have a product you'd like to partner up in a hamper giveaway, we'd be more than happy to do it. We have been at the NDTV Food Awards, where Right to Protein, Proteinometer was highlighted. Again, we sponsor the PBFIA and India Plant-Based Food Show this year as well, where we highlighted the importance of high-quality soy in plant-based foods. We've hosted and worked together with the Soy Food Promotion Welfare Association at PNFDAI seminars. We actually partnered up with the Shrimpathon. I know the shrimp industry is looking for increase in domestic consumption of shrimp, so we've set up booths, we do runs and a lot of fun activities. We've sponsored the Chennai Fish Seafood Show. We've done the Sustainable Soy Solution for Tomorrow's India, where the SFPWA launched their white paper on declaring 2026 as a year of soy. We've done some influencer collaborations, just to name a few of activities that we have done this year so far in India. So with that, I'd like to say thank you, a big round of applause to SOPA once again. Thank you for having me here to speak on a few topics. I do look forward to collaborating with you here in India, and namaste, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable knowledge you shared with us. A huge round of applause for Miss Deepa, everybody. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the felicitation. So I would like to request Mr. G.K. Sood, sir, on stage. Welcome, sir. He is distinguished industry leader with nearly 65 years of experience spanning business management, public policy, research, and commodity training. A postgraduate in economic statistics from Delhi School of Economics, he began his career with Oil Natural Gas Commission before advancing to senior roles at Steel Authority of India and the Ministry of Steel, where he spearheaded computerization and policy development. And he is felicitating our moderator, Mr. Suresh Motwani, sir. Huge round of applause for Mr. Suresh Motwani, sir. Suresh, sir, he is the head of vegetable oil program at Solidarity Asia region. He is the specialist in sustainable agriculture supply chains across various agro-commodities for the national as well as international market, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Suresh Aitappu. He is food scientist and technologist with about 30 years of experience in promoting on health, nutritional, and functional food and meet the demands of the consumer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are felicitating Mr. Randy Duckworth, has served as the executive director of both the Specialty Soya and Grains Alliances, SSGA. And also, we felicitated Ms. Deba. He leads and supports a network of country market leads in Middle East and North Africa and South Central Asia. The primary drivers of customer engagement across diverse and complex market. Ladies and gentlemen, we have amazing expert on this stage and we have gained amazing valuable knowledge. So now everybody, आप सभी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगी, आज हमें जो नॉलेज मिली है हमारे स्पीकर्स के द्वारा, हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स के द्वारा, इन सभी के लिए एक बार ज़ोरदार तालियां होनी चाहिए. हमारे अमेजिंग स्पीकर्स, नेशनल